Count moves to 3-0 here on Jonathan Treyjo. Treyjo only trails his teammate, Miguel Morales, in hitting in the SWAC. He'll take a look at that one, catch this outside corner for strike one. That pitch is off the outside corner. Count evens up at 1-1 here on Byron Robinson. Robinson, 6'3", 230-pounder from Daytona Beach, Florida. He had a ball last week against Alabama A&M as Treyjo will go in. Went 3 for 4 last Friday with an RBI, 2 for 4 Saturday with 2 steaks. Then had another 1 for 4 day against Alabama A&M pitching on the Sunday finisher, as that one's up and in. Went 500 against Alabama A&M pitching, 6 for 12 last weekend. Here's the pitch coming in. And that one's up in the strike zone. Count goes to 3-1 here on Byron Robinson. Robinson leads the SWAC, or I should say tied for the lead in the SWAC in home runs, has 8 on the season. Here's the pitch. And they're not even going to play with Robinson as they put him on. So some might say that might be the old unintentional intentional here in the first inning. So Treyjo moves up to second as Robinson is able to coax the walk from Criley. So Evan Jubert now will dig in here for Texas Southern. Jubert comes in batting 300. 5'10", 185-pounder from Lake Charles, Louisiana. As that one is fouled off. So Evan Jubert. Good weekend against the Bulldogs. Went 2 for 4 Friday. Had a couple RBIs in that game against Alabama A&M last Friday. Good, healthy cut, swing and a miss as that one gets in underneath the bat. Count goes to 0-2 here on Evan Jubert. Runners on first and second. Treyjo stands out there at second. Robinson at first for the Tigers. Alcorn defense plays Jubert straight up. Here's the pitch. That one's up and in. Count runs to 1-2 now here on Evan Jubert. And that pitch a little high. Count evens at 2-2 here on Evan Jubert. Decent lead out there for Treyjo. Any hit to the outfield, he'll score. Has some good speed out there. And that one, fastball up and in, and Jubert goes down via the K. Nice pitch in that time. Devin Crowley gets out of the inning. So Texas Southern, they leave a couple out there. We move to the second. No score yet here from Cy-Fair Bobcat Park. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network.
No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left on for Texas Southern. Heading to the top of the second, score remains 0-0.
Did you get the count for Byron?
On deck for the Braves, Harris,
The pitch count?
Hawk, Friedman.
I know he walked.
The pitch count?
Yeah.
I didn't get the pitch count. Yeah, he walked.
Like, what was the count?
3-0.
It was,
Yeah, I think he went 4 straight. Robinson?
no, Jubert.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
Jubert.
yeah,
Jubert's 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2 when he struck out.
4 straight. 4 straight?
On Robinson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Robinson was 4 straight.
Working on like 3 hours sleep.
Same. Finna die.
That chair's real comfortable.
I had an already. Got my blanket.
I sat in the one side, I was like, let me get up this too.
Yeah, that's right.
And I got my hoodie right here.
Oh, shit, my bad.
That's like a man cave,
I think that's the actual vibe.
Well, I
But
mean,
we got the matching like love seat and sofa down in the locker room too. So
see, this is all we need. I swear to God, baseball would so bad if we had this little setup.
Be amazing. Yeah.
Right. One camera did the whole
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the first baseman, number 25, Cooper Harris.
Welcome back here to the Texas Southern Sports Network as we get ready to start the second. Cooper Harris will lead things off here for the Braves. Cooper Harris comes in batting .260 on the season. 22 RBIs this season for the Braves for Cooper Harris. Young man, he's from Gainesville, Virginia. That one is up and in here on Harris. So worth mentioning again, Joshua Prieto getting the start today as Joshua Pena was due to start, but after a few warm-up pitches, felt a little twing in the wing, and they decided to go to the bullpen, and Prieto gets the start in this one. 3-1 coming in here on Harris. And he's able to coax the walk from Prieto. So Cooper Harris starts things off, coaxing the walk. So now coming to bat is Keaton Hawk here for the Braves.
The right fielder, number 11, Keaton Hawk.
So Keaton Hawk, .271 hitter. Young man coming back to Texas. He's from Alvin. Lays down a beautiful bunt. Prieto with a nice play. Fielding his position, and they'll get Hawk at first. Score that one 1-3.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the shortstop, number 9, Asher Friedman.
So Hawk in moving the runner over. So Asher Friedman now will dig in here for Alcorn. Asher Friedman, .284 hitter from Rockville, Maryland. He'll take a look at that one as that one skips in the dirt for ball 1. I give a shout out to our Alcorn Braves listeners checking in. It is Alcorn, not Alcorn. Here's a pitch. That one hit back up the middle. Preto, nice job fielding this position, and he'll make the easy toss over to Morales for the second out of the inning. So a pair of 1-3 putouts here in the top of the second inning.
The catcher, number 20, Nico Garcia.
So Nico Garcia now will dig in here for Alcorn. Garcia comes in batting .214 on the season. Another Texas kid. He's from the San Antonio area. 6'1", 208-pounder. That one popped out into left center, going out, and making the play is Sean Williams for Texas Southern. So Alcorn strands one out there at second. We move to the bottom of the second. No score here from Bobcat Park. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. Welcome back here to the Texas Southern Sports Network as we get ready to start the bottom of the second inning. It will be Miguel Morales, Sean Williams, and Elijah Rodriguez. As we take a look at some scores from around the Southwestern Athletic Conference. UAPB and Prairie View, they're knotted up at 1. That game's in the top of the second. Final from Bulldog Field, Alabama State all over Alabama A&M, 12-1. Bethune-Cookman, they bounce back and get the win today, 13-2 over Mississippi Valley. Games in progress right now. Florida A&M and Jackson State, they're knotted up at 1. That game is in the bottom of the 6th. Grambling on top of the Southern Jaguars, 5-3. That game is in the top of the 6th inning. Game 2 has gotten underway, and Itta-Bena, Mississippi, Bethune-Cookman on top of the Delta Devils 4-0. As Miguel Morales, the swag leading hitter, digs in here for Texas Southern. He'll take a look at strike 1. Morales wraps that one down to first base. Soft toss to the pitcher Crawley for the first out. So Cooper Harris to Devin Crawley for out number 1 to start off the second inning.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the center fielder, number 34, Sean Williams.
So Sean Williams now will dig in here for Texas Southern. Williams comes in. He's batting .234 on the season. Young man from Saginaw, Texas. 6'1", 210-pounder. He's a junior. Last got to start on April 2nd against Alabama A&M. Went 2 for 5 in that game. Scored a run. Also had a triple in that game. So Sean Williams, tremendous speed down here toward the bottom of the order here for Texas Southern. center fielder can really go track it. He is a tremendous center fielder here for the Maroon and Gray Tigers. Here's the pitch. That one skied up. First baseman camps under, but making the play is actually the second baseman, Jalen Bennett for Alcorn, as the wind was playing tricks with it a little bit there. Wind swirling a little bit out here in northwest Houston. Cypress area. So 2 outs now, and Elijah Rodriguez now will dig in here for Texas Southern. Elijah Rodriguez, 5'8", 185-pounder from Baytown, Texas. First pitch swinging, and he wraps that one down to the third baseman, Chase Moore, and Moore will make the easy put out. 5-3 if you're scoring at home. So Crowley gets the Texas Southern Tigers out in order. We move now to the third, no score here from Bobcat Park here in Cypher ISD. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Texas Southern Sports Network as we get ready to start the third inning. It will be the designated hitter, Clay Wright, Chase Moore, then back to the top of the lineup in Spanky Davis. Here for the young man from the reservation, Alcorn State Brave, affectionately from the reservation. So Clayvonjay Wright, DH in the day for Alcorn, takes a look at ball one. Young man from Meadville, Mississippi. That's over in the Franklin County area. Here's a pitch coming in, and that one low and away. Ball two here to Clay Wright. Wright in his start against Mississippi Valley last week. Went 0 for 2 as he takes a look at that coming in for a strike. Count goes to 2-1 now here on Clay Wright. Went 1 for 2 in the midweek contest against Ole Miss. And that one is fouled down the first base line. So count evens at 2-2 here on Clay Wright. So Clay Wright getting his 5th start of the season today. As he takes a look at that one, they'll say he offered at it, and he will go down via the K as he goes down swinging. A little check swing action. Nice pitch from Pareto, and Clay Wright goes down. So now Chase Moore will dig in here for the Braves.
Number 15, Chase.
Chase Moore, he's a sophomore from Frankfort, Kentucky, here for the Braves. As he takes a look at strike one. Has a few multiple hit games on the ledger. That one's a little low. Count goes to 1-1. Went 3 for 4 back on April 2nd against the Delta Devils. That one is a little low on inside. Had another multi-hit game against UNC Asheville. Went 2 for 3 in that game. 2 for 4 against Jackson State back on February 15th. Decent stick in the hands of Chase Moore. Swing and a miss. Count evens at 2-2. So now Evan Jubert will back up and play normal depth down there at third base. That pitch a little high. So count runs full here on the number 9 hitter in Chase Moore. Here's the pitch. Nice cut from Moore that time as he fouls that one off. Looks as though the weekend rains have moved on. Nice little breeze flowing through the baseball park now as Old Glory stiffens up out there. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled back. And Moore takes a look at that one, and he'll go down with a strikeout. Backwards K action. There's 2 outs now here in the inning. It's Prieto doing a nice job here for Texas Southern. Prieto through the first 3 innings, 37 pitches, 22 of them being strikes. Back to the top of the lineup, and good eye is Spanky Davis here. He grounded out to short to start things off here for Alcorn. So Prieto with a couple of strikeouts here in the inning. Had a little umph on that one. That one's fouled back. As mentioned, Prieto throws a 4-seam fastball. Sinker, changeup, and slider. When he has them all working, he's a tough guy to deal with. That one's a little low on the inside. Count goes to 2-1. That one skips in the ground. Prieto not happy with himself over that one. This is Joshua Prieto's 9th appearance on the season here for Texas Southern. He's pitched 18 2/3. And Davis is able to coax the walk out of Prieto. So 2-out walk as Alcorn gets a runner on.
For the Braves, the second baseman, number 19, Jalen Bennett.
So now Jalen Bennett will dig in here for Alcorn. Bennett flied out to Sean Williams back in the first. So tremendous speed over there in the form of Spanky Davis for the Braves. And Prieto on cue will check on him over there.
So the system that y'all use, does it look like this? Yeah.
So Davis, 16 of 20 on the base paths this season for Alcorn. Nice slider that time from Prieto. Bennett Wood chasing on that one. Davis has one step towards Houston over there. Nice lead. Fastball gets in for a strike. So now 2 strikes now on Jalen Bennett.
Like you just kind of move it, and they ask you like, was it a hit, was it not, was it this and this, and you just select it, so you don't have to know any kind of codes or anything like that.
Here's the pitch coming in. Swing and a miss. Rodriguez blocks it up and will make the throw to first for the final putout. So Alcorn gets a runner on but leaves him stranded over there at first. We move now to the bottom of the third inning. Still no score here from Bobcat Park here at Cypher ISD. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Texas Southern Sports Network. As it will be 9-1-2 in the order, as it will be Nate Lopez, Zach Pace, and Christopher Chavez. Here in the bottom of the third, still no score. As we're playing this one today at Bobcat Park here, Cypher ISD area. As the rain was a little too much for McGregor Park, homestanding field for Texas Southern. So we want to thank the hospitality of the great people here out in the Cypher area, extending their courtesies today to get this game up and in. Count evens at 1-1 here on Nate Lopez. Slick field and second baseman for Texas Southern. Lopez comes in batting .300 on the season. Takes a look at that one up and away. Tell you about the potency of this Texas Southern lineup. Nate Lopez batting in his familiar 9 spot. He has 15 RBIs on the season. Here's a pitch coming in from Criley. And that one low and away. Count runs to 3-1 here on Lopez. The senior from Katy, Texas. Trying to get up and going here in this series against Alcorn. That pitch gets in for a strike. Count goes to 3-2 now here on Lopez. Here's a pitch. That one's fouled back. Nice healthy cut that time from Lopez. Crowley doing a good job mixing up pitches, keeping this potent Texas Southern offense off balance through the first few frames here in this contest. Of course, Texas Southern comes in as a team batting .321 as that one's hit back up the middle. Ranging over and almost making the play, but that one will skip towards the Alcorn dugout, and Lopez will get on. Let's see what the Russian judges say on this one. I think they will say it is a throwing error on the shortstop for Alcorn, as Asher Friedman going in the hole to make the play was not able to make the throw.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the left fielder, number 20, Zachary Pace.
So Chavez gets on. E6 if you're scoring at home. We go back to the top of the lineup. Zach Pace.
That was Lopez.
Struck out back in the first. Pace squares the bunt, and it'll be strike one. So Nate Lopez stands on first. Texas Southern's trying to get this offense up and going. As mentioned, they came into today's contest batting .321 as a team. Pace does a good job, lays that one down. Crowley feels it and makes the throw. About a half step in front of the speedy Zach Pace, but Pace gets the job done, moves the runner over to second on the 1-3 putout.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the right fielder, number 15, Christopher Chavez.
So Christopher Chavez now will dig in here for Texas Southern. Chavez walked back in the first. Got picked off over there at first. Nice move from Devin Crowley to pick him off back there in the first inning. Chavez will look at ball one. Mentioned Texas Southern batting .321 as a team. Behind them is Jackson State at .296. Bethune-Cookman, .294 as a team. And Crowley will throw that one out there and keep Lopez close. A few raindrops speckle the area now. As you start to see the umbrellas pop up. Here we go. That one's hit out into left field. I think the left fielder didn't see it. It's going to drop. It'll roll to the fence.
That's a hit.
Wow. And Nate Lopez comes around to score as that was hit out into left field. And Spanky Davis, he had no clue where it was. And it'll be a double here for Christopher Chavez.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the shortstop, number 5, Jonathan Treyjo.
So Davis was motioning for help. I don't think he picked it up off the bat. So now the rain is kind of coming down just a little bit harder. Jonathan Treyjo now will dig in with Chavez standing out there at second. They'll check on Chavez to keep him close out there. So Christopher Chavez, give him a double on that. As Treyjo looks at that one, that's a ball. 1-0 is your score. Texas Southern now on top of Alcorn. That one hit out in the left field. Davis will go back, and he'll make the play. Chavez thought about it, but he will not be able to advance on the pop fly out in the left field. So Jonathan Treyjo flies out to Kanaya Spanky Davis for the second out of the inning.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the designated hitter, number 35, Byron Robinson.
So Byron Robinson now will dig in here for Texas Southern. Robinson walked back in the first. Ducks on the proverbial pond here for Robinson as Chavez stands out there at second. That pitch is off the outside corner. Of course, Byron Robinson with his familiar Joe Morgan little elbow tuck there. Sort of his trigger to get the swing up and going. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside part of the play. That's a ball. So 2-0 now to Robinson. Evan Crowley being very careful Pitching to the dangerous Byron Robinson. Of course, mentioned earlier, he's tied for the lead in the SWAC with 8 home runs on the season, but he's batting over 400. Here's a pitch. That one gets across for a strike. Nice fastball coming in from Crowley. Robinson does a good job with plate coverage. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and another fastball pumped in past him. Deuce is wild out there on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Christopher Chavez standing out there at second. And we're playing a doubleheader today. All twos today. Here's a pitch. That one's off the outside corner. Count runs to 3-2. So the sprinkles look like they've stopped. Few leftover tears from the clouds. Here's a pitch coming in. Full count. And Robinson, nice defensive cut, fouls that one off. Byron Robinson looking for something he can extend his arms on. And that fastball is off the outside part of the plate. So Robinson, for the second time today, is able to coax the walk.
Coming up the bat for the Tigers, the third baseman, number 9, Evan Joubert.
So Evan Joubert now will get an opportunity here for Texas Southern. Joubert struck out back in the first. Dangerous bat in the lineup. 21 RBIs on the season. Takes a look at ball 1. Good pop in the bat from Evan Joubert. Also has 4 home runs. And that pitch is up and in. Count runs to 2-0 now on Evan Joubert. Hitters count here for Joubert. And Joubert will take a look at that one. Thought it was up and in, but they said it was a strike. So count goes to 2-1. Here on the Lake Charles, Louisiana native. Here's the pitch. Nice cut from Joubert. He fouls that one straight back. So count goes to 2-2. Now on Evan Joubert. Here's a pitch. And that one is up and away. So count runs full now on Joubert. Miguel Morales stands at the ready on deck. That one inside out swing, and that one is fouled down the right field line. So Evan Joubert doing a good job protecting the plate for Texas Southern. So wind is really freshened up out there in left center field as that one is up and in. And Joubert to move the Chicklets out the way. He will coax the walk. Bases loaded now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the inning. Texas Southern's already played it one. And the Alcorn Brain Trust, they're going to go out and go talk to their hurler here. As Chavez stands at third, Robinson at second, and Jubert at first. So Alcorn here with 2 outs trying to prevent the big inning. And they have to be very careful with the number 1 hitter in the SWAC. Miguel Morales. He came into today's action batting a gaudy .423 on the season. Yesterday's action around the SWAC, Alabama State blanked Alabama A&M 10-0. Southern got the game 1 win over Grambling 7-5. Jackson State knocked off Florida A&M yesterday 5-4. And the game that really kind of turned a lot of people's heads is Mississippi Valley. They downed Bethune-Cookman 8-6 in that Friday contest. So Morales, now with the bases loaded, here's the pitch coming in. He'll take a look at ball 1. Miguel Morales, eagle eye at the plate. That pitch is up and in. Count runs to 2-0 here on Miguel Morales. Morales has only struck out 6 times this season. Tremendous hitter for Texas Southern. And that one is off the outside corner of the plate. So count runs to 3-0 here on Morales. So the senior from Arroyo, Puerto Rico. Let's see if he has the green light here with 3 balls, no strikes. And that pitch just off the outside corner. Crowley thought he had that one for a strike. And Texas Southern plates another run as Morales walks. And Chavez comes around to score.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the center fielder, number 34, Sean Williams.
So Sean Williams now at the plate, 2-0. Texas Southern on top of Alcorn as they played it 2 here in the bottom of the third. As that pitch is a little inside. Here's a pitch. Williams takes a look at that one, low and away. So Crowley trying to get his composure as he kind of walks off the mound a little bit there. He thought he had a couple of strikes over the last 2 batters here. 2-0 pitch coming in. Tried to have a little extra oomph on that one. That one was wide right. So now count runs to 3-0. Here on Sean Williams. And they tried to pick the runner off, throws it into center field, so Robinson will come around to score, and both runners will move up on the error from the pitcher. So 3-0 pitch coming in to Sean Williams, and Devin Crowley tried to pick off the runner at second and threw it into center field. So now 3-0 is your score. Here's the pitch. And that one high and pops off the Alcorn catcher's glove. And Williams is able to coax the walk. So bases loaded again here.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the catcher, number 16, Elijah Rodriguez.
So Elijah Rodriguez now will come to the plate here for Texas Southern. So now Alcorn defense, they're going to kind of go out there and go talk to Devin Crowley. Make sure everybody's on the same page here. As Texas Southern has played it 3 here in the inning. Texas Southern doing a little damage here with 2 outs here.
Was he hit by pitch or walk?
Oh, he's out.
So Coach Carlton Hardy, he's making the long, slow walk to the mound. As Alcorn had a pitcher warming up down there in the bullpen. And we'll see if they actually make the call to the bullpen.
It's the second visit. So
And they have made the call to the bullpen. So Alcorn going to the bullpen while they bring in a new pitcher. We'll take a break here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. We'll come back with the new pitcher. Bases loaded here for the TSU Tigers. We'll be right back. Welcome back here to the TSU Sports Network. As the new pitcher coming in for the Braves is Jose Chirinia. He's a junior, lefty, 5'9", 165-pounder from Toa Baja, Puerto Rico. So Chirinia last saw action in the midweek contest against Ole Miss, where he pitched 2 innings. Gave up a couple hits, 3 earned. Walked 4 in that midweek game in his last SWAC action. Pitched 3 innings against the Delta Devils. Gave up 5 hits on 7 runs. 3 of them were earned. Walked 2, struck out 3 against the Delta Devils. So his last SWAC action was last weekend, back on last Friday. So Chirinia coming in relief of Devin Crowley, who ran into trouble here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's Texas Southern. They played it 3.
the catcher, number 16, Elijah Rodriguez.
And Elijah Rodriguez here at the bat for Texas Southern. So Texas Southern really looking to break things open here with the new pitcher coming in. Here's the pitch. And the first pitch, slider down in the dirt for ball 1. Here's a pitch. Good cut from Rodriguez. Fouls that one off. Wind at a standstill now out there in left center field. And that pitch off the outside corner. Count going to 2-1 here on Elijah Rodriguez. 310 down the lines, 345 in the alleys, 380 dead center here at Bobcat Park. Wind freshens up out there in left center field now. Here's the pitch coming in. That one hit down the right field line. They'll give chase, but that'll go foul. As Rodriguez was trying to punch that outside pitch down in the right field. The count evens up at 2-2 here on Elijah Rodriguez. And that one is foul back. So Rodriguez doing a good job with 2 strikes protecting the plate. That one skips into the catcher. Now count runs full now on Elijah Rodriguez. Got to find something good here to hit. If not, leave it alone. Runners will be moving. And that one down in the dirt, and another run walks in as Joubert will come in to score. So 4-0 now on the walk to Elijah Rodriguez, as Rodriguez has been able to coax the walk here in the inning.
The second baseman, number 24, Nate Lopez.
So 5 base on balls here in the inning, as Alcorn pitchers have run into trouble. And Nate Lopez is back at the dish. Lopez reached on an error to start this inning. And that pitch is off the outside corner. Count runs to 2-0 as the Alcorn pitchers have become allergic to the strike zone. Ooh, that one is wrapped hard down the third base line, and Miguel Morales had to do a little two-step to get away from that one down there. As Lopez found one to his liking, just pulled it too hard down the third base line. So count runs to 2-1 here on Nate Lopez. That pitch a little high above the letter, so count runs to 3-1 now. Morales out there at third, Sean Williams at second, Elijah Rodriguez at first. Here's the pitch. And another base on ball. And I tell you what, Alcorn dugout getting a little antsy down there. They're not happy with the strike zone. As Nate Lopez is able to walk here in the inning, and we go back to the top of the lineup as Zach Pace coming to bat as Morales comes around to score. 5-0 now, as the Braves pitchers will scurry down to the bullpen as Coach Carlton Hardy takes a long walk to give them an opportunity to get warmed up. There have been 6 walks here in this inning. It's been a tough inning for the Alcorn pitchers. Texas Southern's battered around here in this inning as they've played at 5. So the Brave bullpen a little busy down there, so Zach Pace now will dig in.
Zachary Pace.
Here's the pitch. Pace will look at strike 1. Texas Southern offense very disciplined at the plate, more than content to get the right pitch. Here's the pitch coming in, swing and a miss. Nice pitch coming in from Treyjo. Oh, 0-2 coming in to Zachary Pace now. Swing and a miss, and Alcorn gets out of the inning as Texas Southern leaves them loaded, but not before they put 5 up here in the bottom of the 3rd. We move to the 4th. Texas Southern 5, Alcorn not yet. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. Welcome back here on the TSU Sports Network. Texas Southern on top, 5-0 in this one, as it will be Adams, Harris, and Hawk
Coming up to bat for the Braves.
here in the top of the 4th inning.
Number 3, Rayfield Adams.
So Adams, he struck out back in the 1st inning. So we'll see how the long sit down, how it affects Joshua Prieto as he starts things off with a strike.
So what's in that cup?
Strawberry lemonade.
Here's the pitch. That one chopped. Prieto, nice job fielding his position. Makes the easy toss for the verse out here in the inning. So Joshua Prieto does a good job of
Coming up to bat for
going up to get that one and making the play. So now Cooper Harris will come to the plate here for the Braves.
Cherry Lemonade, Baja Blast.
So Harris takes a look at ball 1. Cooper Harris, he walked back in the 1st. That pitch is up a little high. Count runs to 2-0 here on Cooper Harris. Nice pitch coming in from Prieto that time. As that changeup gets in for a strike. 2-1 coming in to Cooper Harris. Another changeup in there for a strike. So Prieto evens the count back up at 2-2. That slider down and away in the dirt. Count runs full now. You're on Cooper Harris. And Harris does a good job of coaxing the walk out of Prieto. So Harris gets on base for the second time today, both via the walk.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, right fielder, number 11, Keaton Hawk.
So Keaton Hogg now will dig in here for Alcorn. Hogg bounced out back to the pitcher back in the second inning. That slider's in the dirt. Ball one. As mentioned, Prieto does a good job. Four-seam fastball, sinker, changeup, slider. He's kept the Braves offense off kilter today thus far. Excuse me, swing. Coming in and making the play acrobatically is Zach Pace out there in left field. He came in charging hard on it, and it was almost over his head, but he went up and makes the play for the second out of the inning.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, shortstop, number 9, Asher.
So Asher Friedman now will dig in here for Alcorn. Friedman bounced out back to the pitcher back in the second. Slider off the corner of the plate for ball one. That pitch a little low and inside. Alcorn still looking for their first hit today. A little umph on that fastball off the corner of the plate. Goes to 3-0 now here on Asher Friedman. And Friedman will take a look at that one coming in for a strike. So 3-1 coming in on Asher Friedman. Friedman, 284 hitter. Harris takes off. And that one, that slider is off the corner of the plate.
No stolen base.
So runners now at first and second here for the Braves as Nico Garcia will dig in.
Do I have that? That's correct. Yeah. Okay.
Now Texas Southern, Brain Trust, they're going to come out there and check on Prieto. As Prieto walked Cooper Harris. Now Asher Friedman on first is here for the Braves. So making sure everything is on the up and up here with Joshua Prieto. Checking on him out there was the pitching coach, Aaron Ford.
Nico Garcia.
So Nico Garcia now looking to get something going for the Braves here. He flied out to center back in the second inning. Takes a look at ball one. Clay Wright on deck here for the Braves. Hoping to get in that bat. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled off. Count evens at 1-1. That fastball a little low. Count goes to 2-1 now. Some quick updates from around the SWAC. Bethune-Cookman on top of Valley 10-0. That game's in the top of the third inning. That's game 2, of course. Jackson State on top of Florida A&M 4-2. That game is in the top of the 8th. Also on the top of the 8th, Southern on top of Grambling 7-6 as that pitch gets in for a strike. Two balls, two strikes coming in. And nice slider as that gets in under the bat of Nico Garcia. So Prieto gets out of the inning without any other damage as Alcorn, they leave 2 on. We move to the bottom of the 4th. Texas Southern 5. Alcorn still not yet. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. Welcome back here on the TSU Sports Network as we get ready to move to the bottom of the 4th inning. It will be Chavez, Treyjo, and Robinson here for Texas Southern. Texas Southern looking to extend the lead. They're up 5-0 in this one as they played it 5 back in the 3rd. So Jose Treyjo now working to Christopher Chavez, as Chase Moore will come in on the apron here for the Braves. Chavez first pitch swinging, fouls that one off. Braves got a little movement down there in the bullpen, just in case Sharina runs into any issues here in this inning. And that pitch a little low, fastball moves the count to 1-1. That one wrapped and going up to get it is Cooper Harris. Nice play down there at first base for the Braves. So Chavez put a charge in that one, but Cooper Harris moving the frame down there at first base and making the play.
Number 5, Jonathan Treyjo.
So a 6-foot, 220-pounder went up and got that one for the first out of the inning. So Jonathan Treyjo now digs in here for Texas Southern. Treyjo looks at that one off the outside corner. Treyjo today 0 for 1. As he walked back in the first, takes a look at that one. That one's a little high. Walked in the first, flew out to left field back in the 3rd inning. Fouls that one back. So count goes to 3-1 here on Jonathan Treyjo. Nice healthy cut at that one. Fouls that one off. I want to say hello to everybody tuning in here on the TSU Sports Network, checking out today's action. Texas Southern Alcorn as Treyjo will pop that one out into left center field, trekking over to make the play as Rayful Adams III for the second out of the inning. So Treyjo pulled the string on that one a little bit, had Treyjo out in front of it.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the designated hitter, number 35, Byron Robinson.
So Byron Robinson now will dig in here for Texas Southern. That one hit out into straight center field. Going back is Adams. Adams will have to play it off the wall. So Robinson on his hustle. Can he make it 3? Yes, he will. Byron Robinson with a 2-out triple. Get your rest, young man, as he was trucking around the bases. So Robinson hit that one off the top of the wall, and he turned it on going around second. Goes in Pete Rose style, head first into third. And him and Coach Gallego having a nice little laugh down there.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the third baseman, number 9, Evan Juber.
So Evan Jubert now will dig in. So that will be Robinson's first triple of the season. So Jubert trying to pick him up out there. That one in on the hands. He'll foul that one off. So we're used to Byron Robinson with the long, slow trot going around the bags for home runs.
Yeah, that would have been over.
That time he really had to turn it on. Nice pitch in there from Treyjo, but that's a little low, so
From the bottom of the wall or the top of the wall?
Probably the bottom.
count goes to 1-2 here on Evan Jubert. So 1-2 pitch coming in. That one low and in. Count evens up at 2-2. So Jubert trying to pick up his 22nd RBI. Chops that one down to Moore. Moore with the throw across. And Alcorn gets out of the inning without any further issues. But a little excitement. Byron Robinson with a triple, but he's stranded out there at third. We move now to the 5th. Texas Southern 5. Alcorn zip. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network.
designated hitter, number 26, Clay Wright.
Welcome back in here to the top of the fifth, as it will be Clay Wright, Chase Moore, and Spanky Davis here for the Braves in this one. As Prieto skips that one in for ball one. So taking a look around, Florida A&M, they've evened it up with Jackson State. 4-4 now in the bottom of the eighth inning. Southern still on top of Grambling. That game is the top of the eighth, 7-6. Bottom seven out there at Tankersley Field in Prairie View. Arkansas Pine Bluff on top of the Panthers, 9-8. As that one is fouled back. Count goes to 2-1 here on Clay Wright. You know, the big story this past week, of course, was Bethune-Cookman knocking off LSU Tigers, but you also had Alabama State. They had a good midweek win against South Alabama. Things are really setting up for a very interesting second half of the season here in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, as we are officially at the midpoint. As Prieto gets that one in for a strike. Count goes to 3-2 here on Clay Wright. So Texas Southern through the midway point on top of the standings here in the SWAC. And wow, confusion that time from Clay Wright. And Prieto saw an opportunity, threw a strike in there, and apparently the umpire did not signal any stoppage of play, but I think Clay Wright was a little bit confused there, and he goes down via the punch out.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, third baseman, number 15, Chase Moore.
So now Chase Moore now will dig in. Chase Moore struck out looking. Back in the third. Here's the pitch. That one skips to the plate. Count even at 1-1 here on Chase Moore. That one a swing and a miss. So count runs to 1-2. Of course, this weekend marks the first of 4 consecutive games for the Braves here in Texas. After this series, they'll be traveling to Stephen F. Austin for a midweek game. Count goes to 2-2 here on Chase Moore. Braves in the midst of a 7-game losing streak. That one's fouled back. So Moore being tough with 2 now. Very interesting stat. Going back to 2015, Texas Southern is 22-2 against this Alcorn Brave baseball team. Prieto can't get that one. That one's off the outside corner of the plate. Count runs to 3-2. Texas Southern has won 5 consecutive series against Alcorn, including a sweep last season. Of course, that happened down there in Lorman. As that pitch is up and in, and Chase Moore is able to coax the walk. So now we go back to the top of the lineup, and
Coming up to bat for the Braves,
Canias Davis.
number 2, Spanky Davis.
Will get his turn at bat. Davis grounded out to short back in the first. Walked in the third. Evan Jubert going to play on top of the curtain down there at third. That fastball up and in for ball 1. And Prieto is going to chase Moore back over there. Last time Alcorn got a win against Texas Southern was an 8-6 decision. That was in the second game of a series back on May 10th, 2024. As Davis gets a hold of that one, and he will drive it in between Williams and Pace. Moore, they're going to wave him around. Here comes the throw from Treyjo. And he'll get in under the tag of Rodriguez. So, nice double that time from Kanias Spanky Davis as Alcorn gets their first hit of the day, also their first run. As Davis doubles into left center field to score Chase Moore. So now Coach Gallego, he's going to go out there and check on his pitcher. And it looks as though they will indeed make the call to the bullpen. So we'll take a break. We'll come back with the new Texas Southern pitcher as Joshua Prieto gives way. 5-1 is your score. We'll be back here on the TSU Sports Network. And welcome back into live action. 5-1 is your score. Texas Southern on top of Alcorn. There's a new pitcher coming into the game for Texas Southern. It's Kiwan Brazil, the Charlotte, North Carolina native. 2.77 ERA. This is his 7th appearance on the season for Texas Southern. He's pitched 13 innings. Given up 9 hits on 4 earned. Struck out 13 on the season. Opponents are only batting .205 against the lefty from North Carolina. As he'll start things off with a strike into Jalen Bennett. So Kanias Spanky Davis stands out there on second for Alcorn as they played a run here in the inning. A 1-out double to left center field as Brazil fires that one into center field, and Davis will come up and get the freebie into third. So a little E1 action that time on Brazil. So Davis is able to move to third on the errant throw. on the pickoff attempt from Kiwan Brazil. Brazil last saw action against Alabama A&M last week as that one is fouled off. Nice pitch in on the hands of Bennett. Brazil won one of the third, gave up a hit, and struck out one last week. Last Sunday, actually, against Alabama A&M. Check that. That was on last Saturday. Here's a pitch. That one skips low and in. Count runs to 1-2 now on Jalen Bennett. Jalen Bennett, he flew out to center field back in the first. Struck out back in the third inning. As that pitch is a little low and in. So count evens up at 2-2. Bennett comes in. He's working on a 6-game hitting streak as he has reached base safely in his last 22 outings for the Braves. Looking to pick up a run here. That fastball low and inside. Count runs full now here to Jalen Bennett. Bennett fouls that one off. Breeze has really picked up out there as you see both the Texas flag and Old Glory out there saluting. And Bennett is able to coax the walk that time from Brazil as that one was low. So Jalen Bennett now has reached base safely in his last 23 outings here for the Braves. So now runners at the corners here for Alcorn is Rayful Adams.
Coming up to bat for the Braves. Center fielder.
Will dig in.
Rayfield. Adams.
Adams 0 for 2 today. Struck out back in the first. Grounded out back to the pitcher back in the third, and he takes a look at strike one. One out here in the inning. Evan Jubert playing in on the apron down there at third. That one skied out into short left field. Coming in to make the play is Pace. Will hit his cutoff man. Nice fundamental defense that time from Texas Southern to prevent Spanky Davis from tagging up and scoring us. That one was not out deep enough to bring Davis in. So 2 outs now in the inning. And Cooper Harris now will come to the plate here for the Braves.
Cooper Harris.
So Cooper Harris, he's been on base twice today for Alcorn via the walk. That one popped out into center field. Coming in is Sean Williams, and Williams will make the play for Texas Southern. Alcorn leaves one out there at third, one at first. They do score one. 5-1 is your score. We move to the bottom of the fifth inning. Texas Southern on top of Alcorn. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network.
first baseman, number 29, Miguel Morales.
Welcome back in to live action as we start the bottom of the fifth inning. Miguel Morales will start things off for Texas Southern. It'll be Morales, Williams, and Rodriguez here for Texas Southern in the bottom of the frame. The fifth inning. Morales chops that one out to short. And it'll be an easy 6-3 put out. As Asher Friedman flings it over to Cooper Harris for the first out of the inning.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the center fielder, number 34, Sean Williams.
So now Sean Williams now will dig in here for Texas Southern. Williams takes a look at the first pitch for ball one. Williams today, 0 for 1. Flew out to second back in the second inning and also has a walk on the ledger today for the speedy center fielder for Texas Southern. As that one is foul back. Kind of was at 1-1. Of course, a lot of spring football action happening today. Texas Southern with their spring game today. Coach Chris Dishman hoping to get the Texas Southern Tiger football team into the thick of things in the SWAC this upcoming season. 2-1 pitch coming into Williams. And that curveball stays outside. Count runs to 3-1. Of course, from a football perspective, everyone is chasing Prairie View A&M Panthers now, who won the SWAC this past season. Represented the Southwestern Athletic Conference in the Celebration Bowl, where they fell to South Carolina State. But as with all things, hope springs eternal in the spring. Hoping to get our Texas Southern Tigers right back into the thick of things. So Williams able to coax the walk, and now Elijah Rodriguez will dig in here for Texas Southern. Williams takes off. Hit and run is on. Friedman with a nice diving play. He gets up and makes the throw. Nice little web gem out there from Asher Friedman. As he went sprawling in the hole for that one. There'll be a little timeout out there as he's looking at his finger out there, but looks as though he'll be okay. As Friedman came up throwing, made a nice play on Elijah Rodriguez for the second out of the inning. So Lopez, Nate Lopez digs in here for TSU. Lopez reached on an error from Asher Friedman back in the third. He also walked back in the third inning, in that huge third inning for Texas Southern where they played at 5. Lopez batted twice in that inning. Takes a look at strike one. Count evens at 1-1 here on Nate Lopez, the senior from Katy. So Jose Chirinia takes a long look in. That one hit out into right center field. Giving chase is Rayful Adams. And oh my goodness, what a play out there in center field from Rayful Adams III. Oh my goodness. He ranged over into right center field and made a web gem. So Texas Southern strands one out there at second. We move to the 6th inning. TSU 5, Alcorn 1. We'll be back here from Bobcat Park. Welcome back here into live action as we get ready to start the 6th inning. That's Kiwan Brazil. Working the Keaton Hawk here. Fastball off the outside part of the plate. Count runs to 2-0. We look at some scores from Augusta National. Cameron Young scintillating 65 today as he moves to -11. He's tied with Rory McIlroy at the top. Sam Burns sits at -10. Shane Lowry -9. Jason Day -8. Justin Rose -8. And Scotty Scheffler, he had a 65 today. He's sitting at -7. Makes for a fun Sunday at the Masters tomorrow. As that pitch gets in for a strike. Count runs to 3-1. You're on Keaton Hawk. That one hit down. Oh, tough bounce over there for Morales. As that one will skip into right field. Here's a throw in behind Hawk. He gets in under the tag. So that was a solid base hit that time for Keaton Hawk. So Hawk with a solid single.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the shortstop, number 9, Asher Friedman.
So Asher Friedman now will dig in here for Alcorn. As Keaton Hawk wrapped that one down. Got in under the glove over there of Miguel Morales, but it was a tough hop. We'll give him a base hit. Can't let the Russian judge get him on that one. Here's the pitch. Friedman squares, bunts it. And Brazil thought about making the play out there at second. Makes the easy out at first for the first out of the inning. And Hawk will move up to second now. Brazil did a great job fielding this position.
Coming up to bat for the Braves.
Got to the ball in enough time. He thought about making the play out there at second, but wisely makes the easy out at first. So now coming to bat is Nico Garcia. Garcia went down swinging in his last at bat.
There's one inning to go.
Here's the pitch. Nice curveball out there from Kiwan Brazil. So Brazil, he features a four-seam fastball, a sinker, a sweeper. Also throws a splitter. That one is low and in. Count goes to 1-2 here on Nico Garcia. That one chopped to Jubert, and that will go between Jubert's legs. That was going to be a tough play in between Hop. Hawk comes around to score, and Nico Friedman goes into second standing.
That's error. I think it ate him up. I'm going to say it's more of a hit.
Yeah.
What do you think? Think he misplayed it?
Yeah.
Error.
So hard luck error over there for Evan Jubert. Tough in between Hop. Kind of got caught in between there. And that one went bouncing into
Number 26.
the left field nether regions as Hawk comes around to score. So now your score is 5-2. Texas Southern on top of Alcorn, with Nico Garcia standing out there at second. Clay Wright now at the bat for the Braves.
Say Garcia's mad dogging you from second base.
Is that a ball?
Yeah.
I think the one.
That one is fouled off down the right field line. Clay Wright looking to keep things going here for the Braves here in the 6th inning. That one hit to Jubert. Jubert stays down on that one. Fires across for the 5-3 putout.
Also, the one that hit it first is a hometown AV away team AV. So there you go.
Yeah.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, third baseman, number 15, Chase Moore.
So Chase Moore now digs in here for Alcorn.
So for us,
Moore came around to score back in the 5th inning. Made his walk count.
That's why I pointed out what I said.
So here's the pitch coming in. That one is fouled off down the right field line. Brazil working here to Moore. That one dances in the dirt for a ball. So count evens at 1-1 here on Chase Moore.
they're not playing like they're 1-11 in the SWAC.
Here's the pitch coming in for Brazil. That one wrapped into center field. Coming on is Sean Williams. Can't quite make the play. And Nico Garcia will come around to score. And the Braves, they're working their way back into this one as they played another run. 5-3 now as you score. Because that was a solid base hit from Chase Moore.
Left fielder, number 2, Spanky Davis.
So now the dangerous Kanaya Spanky Davis will come to the plate here for the Braves.
10. Wait.
So Nico Garcia comes around to score for Alcorn. 5-3 is your new score. As Alcorn with a little fight. They've played it 2 here in this inning. Wind is really picked up out there in left center field now. Davis looks at that one for a strike count. Evens up at 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one's foul back. Alcorn this season, they've had their struggles at the plate. Only batting .239 as a team. Runner takes off. That one skips in the ground. Rodriguez will give chase, and Moore will hold up out there at second. So Kiwan Brazil having some issues here in the 6th inning. 2 outs. 2 runs have come across. And that one is way off the target that time, as that one will skip to the backstop, and Chase Moore will go in standing over there at third.
Wow, pitch.
Yeah. Get him a rosin back.
Twice.
Yep.
So Kiwan Brazil having some issues here in the 6th inning, top of the 6th. Seems as though he lost control of that one. Count runs full here on Spanky Davis.
Got some sunscreen. Need to run some sunscreen down there. This little sun
Here's the
day.
pitch. In on the hands, and Davis fouls that one off.
Have him put it on his arm.
What's that stuff called? Yeah, I forgot what it's
Well,
called.
when you mix
Keaton Hawk and Nico Garcia have come around to score here for Alcorn in this 6th inning. That one is fouled off that time from Davis.
That's why you use the sunscreen.
As Brazil's working that sinker,
Your arm, then you kind of just rub it.
Davis fouled it off of his knee that time.
What's the advantage?
Makes it sticky.
And gives you better ball control.
Here's a pitch. And that one is low and in, and Davis is able to get the walk. So Texas Southern, a little active down there in the bullpen. It's Jalen Bennett gets ready to step in here for the Braves. So Coach Gallego will come pay a visit
I think he's going to pull him. Otherwise, Aaron would have went out there.
to Kiwan Brazil. Two runs have come in here for Alcorn here in the top of the 6th inning. Runners on the corners. As Coach Gallego is talking to his hurler out there along with his defense. So no call to the bullpen. That was just what we call a proverbial checkup out there for Coach Gallego talking to his hurler. So now Jalen Bennett now.
Coming up the bat for the Braves. Second baseman, number 19, Jalen Bennett.
Bennett walked back in the 5th. Struck out in the 3rd, flied out to center back in the 1st. Bennett working on a small 6-game hitting streak. Huge opportunity for him right here. Nice lead over there from Davis. Here's the pitch. Nice cut that time from Jalen Bennett, but he'll foul that one off. Here's the pitch. Davis takes off. Hit and run was on, and Bennett fouls that one off. So Jalen Bennett, in his only appearance in the Mississippi Valley Series, won a perfect 3 for 3 at the plate against the Delta Devils back on April 1st. They'll check on Davis over there on first, make sure he doesn't get too big of a jump. 0-2 pitch coming into Jalen Bennett. Young man from Glen Heights, Texas. Chopper to Brazil, and Brazil will make the soft toss to get the Texas Southern Tigers out of a sticky wicket. Runners left on first and third. Alcorn does play 2. 5-3 is your new score as we move now to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be back here on the TSU Sports Network. Welcome back here to live action. 5-3 is your score. Texas Southern on top of Alcorn, as it will be Pace, Chavez, and Treyjo here for the Maroon and Gray Tigers here in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Pace fouls that one back. 0-1 pitch coming in. Scores from around the SWAC. Florida A&M now on top of Jackson State, 7-6. That game's at the bottom of the 9th. Ooh, my goodness. Pace hits one right back up the middle, but Treyjo, a little bit of self-defense. Puts his glove up in front of his face and makes the play for the 1-3 putout. Florida A&M scores 3 in the top of the 9th to go on top of Jackson State, 7-6.
Number 15, Christopher Chavez.
Final from Prairie View. Prairie View knocks off Arkansas Pine Bluff 10-9 today. And Southern currently on top of Grambling 7-6. That game's at the bottom of the 9th. Chavez chops that one over, and making an easy play over there is the first baseman for Alcorn, Cooper Harris, for the second out of the inning.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the shortstop, number 5, Jonathan Treyjo.
So Jonathan Treyjo now trying to get something going with 2 outs here for Texas Southern. Treyjo has done a decent job here for Alcorn. Coming in relief of Devin Crowley. Here's the pitch. That one hit into left field. Going back is Davis. Davis feeling for the wall. It goes over. Home run, Jonathan Treyjo. Well, that one stayed up in the jet stream for a little while longer, and it found its way over the left field fence for a home run for Jonathan Treyjo. So now a warning here for both teams, as Treyjo had a little something to say to Treyjo right before he touched home plate. So a warning has been issued to both teams after the Jonathan Treyjo home run. Wind is blowing very hard out into the direction where Treyjo hit that home run. Safe to say he got that one up into the jet stream and gets the home run here for Texas Southern as they extend the lead 6-3. That will be Treyjo's 5th home run on the season.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the designated hitter, number 35, Byron Robinson.
So Byron Robinson will dig in here for Texas Southern. So we just mentioned Texas Southern need a little 2-out magic, and Jonathan Treyjo. Abracadabra. So now Robinson digs in. Working on Treyjo. And that one skips to the plate for ball 1. So not sure what the issue was between Treyjo and Treyjo. But a warning was issued to both teams for the little tete-a-tete. As that one is hit out to Bennett. Bennett makes the play on Robinson for the final out of the inning. But not before Texas Southern plates one on the Jonathan Treyjo home run. We move to the 7th. Texas Southern 6, Alcorn 3. We'll be back here on the TSU Sports Network. Welcome back here to the TSU Sports Network. 6-3 is your new score as we go here to the top of the seventh. New pitcher is Seve Medrano coming in to pitch for Texas Southern. Saw action twice last weekend against Alabama A&M. Pitched an inning in relief. Gave up 2 hits and an earned run on April 3rd. Pitched again on April 4th. Gave up 1 hit. Walked 2, struck out 1 in his second outing against Alabama A&M. This will be Medrano's 13th appearance on the season as Adams hits that one out in the right field and making the play as Christopher Chavez for the first out of the inning. So Rayful Adams, first pitch swinging.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the first baseman, number 25, Cooper Harris.
Flies out to right field. So Cooper Harris now comes to the plate for the Braves. That one hit out into center field, and that will drop. So Cooper Harris gets on base here for Alcorn.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the right fielder, number 11, Keaton Hawk.
So Keaton Hawk now will dig in. He's 1 for 2 today. He's scored a run. First pitch swinging on Medrano. He'll foul that one back. Cooper Harris, not much of a stolen base threat, but he is 4 for 4 this season here for Alcorn. That pitch is up and away. Count goes to 1-1 now. First of 2 today. As yesterday's action was rained out, so Texas Southern and Alcorn playing 2 today. As that one's hit out in the left field, and it will get over Pace's outstretched hands. Harris had to wait and see if Pace was going to make the play out there, so he's only able to advance 1 bag. As Pace went up to get it, but it got over his outstretched glove. So runners on first and second now.
Coming up to bat for the Braves,
with 1 out.
shortstop, number 9, Asher Friedman.
As Asher Friedman now will dig in here for Alcorn State Braves. That fastball gets in for a strike.
Do you know if we're playing 7 or 9 for game 1?
So Medrano, he features a fastball, cutter, sinker, and sort of a sweeper slider type pitch. Alcorn has been able to catch up to his fastball here in this inning. Texas Southern will play in on the corners, or I should say in on the apron on the corners. That one hit out into center field. Williams will get under it, and he'll come up throwing, and he will keep Harris at second base out there. So 2 outs now in the inning. As Nico Garcia
Coming up to bat for the
will
Braves,
come to the plate here for
20, Nico Garcia.
Alcorn. So Garcia reached his last at bat on an error down there on Evan Jubert. Tough error. In between bounce, went under his legs. So Garcia trying to keep things going here for Alcorn here in the top of the 7th. That pitch is off the corner. As that was that sweeping action pitch that Medrano features. Nice fastball gets in for a strike under the bat of Nico Garcia. Wind blowing hard out in the left field. Nice pitch in on the hands of Garcia. He's able to foul it back. Count runs to 1-2 here on Nico Garcia. That sweeper's off the outside corner. Count goes to 2-2 here on Garcia. Garcia does a little double duty. He pitches also for the Braves. He saw action last week against Mississippi Valley on the mound. Here's the pitch. That one popped into short center. Williams coming on. It will drop, and a run will come across in the form of Cooper Harris. 6-4. So Harris makes his single count as he comes across to score.
The designated hitter, number 26, Clay, right.
So now pitch hitter coming in here for Alcorn, as it will be
Correction, we have a
Michael
pitch hitter,
Bonelli.
number 27, Michael Bonielli.
So Michael Bonelli, 6'3", 195-pounder from Lilburn, Georgia. He's a freshman. So a little righty versus lefty action here. Bonelli got into the game, midweek game this past week against Ole Miss. As he'll take a look at that one in for a strike. So Bonelli only 26 plate appearances this season here for Alcorn, as he's been asked to come on and provide a good at bat here with 2 outs. Runners on first and second here for Alcorn. They've plated 1 in the inning. 1-2 pitch coming in. That one's off the outside corner. County was up at 2-2. Zach Pace comes in a couple of steps out there in left field. That one, chopper out to Treyjo. Treyjo, easy toss to Lopez for the final out in the inning. So Alcorn does play a run here in the 7th. 6-4 is your score. We move to the bottom of the 7th. Texas Southern on top. We'll be right back. Welcome back here to Live Action. 6-4 is your score. Texas Southern on top of Alcorn. As we move to the bottom of the seventh, hopefully you got a nice stretch in between innings. As Jubert starts things off here for TSU. Jose Treyjo done a decent job keeping this potent Texas Southern offense at bay. As he's only given up the home run to Jonathan Treyjo. .49 pitches in relief of Devin Crayley. And Jubert fouls that one off. Jubert today, 0 for 2. He scored a run. As he looks at that one off the outside part of the plate, count he was at 2-2.
Yeah, it happened yet. Been doing this for 2 weeks.
And that pitch off the outside corner. Treyjo wanted that one. Count runs full. So did his pitching coach. And Jubert, tough with 2, fouls that one off, and it will go foul just off the netting behind the catcher here. Texas Southern, they had that big third inning where they played it 5. Jonathan Treyjo hit a home run. Back in the 6th. That gives them their 6 runs. Alcorn with runs in the 5th, 6th, and 7th as Jubert is able to coax the walk from Treyjo. 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the top of the 7th last inning. So now Jubert gets things up and going here for TSU.
For the Tigers, the first baseman, number 29, Miguel Morales.
So Miguel Morales now digs in here for the Tigers. Morales 0 for 2 today. Does have an RBI on the ledger. Here's the pitch coming in. Morales, healthy cut, skies that one straight up. And making the play for the Alcorn Braves is the third baseman, Chase Moore. The Braves pitchers, they've done a good job keeping Morales
Coming up to bat for the Tigers,
off
the
kilter
center
today.
fielder, number 34, Sean Williams.
As Morales is now 0 for 3, and Sean Williams now digs in. Williams 0 for 1. He's walked twice today. As that one skips in the dirt, but not far away for Jubert to get away. Jubert this season, he's 5 of 7 in stolen bases. Decent speed over there. They'll keep him close. And again, they'll throw it over to keep Evan Jubert relatively in the vicinity over there by first base. Jubert does take off. Here's a throw down. Oh my goodness, and he will be gunned down out there at second
He didn't slide.
as he attempted to slide, but his slide was short of the bag.
He got stuck. Hey, someone get the water hose. Feels too dry.
Sometimes playing on this turf, it is kind of a sticky wicket when trying to slide. And that time we saw Evan Jubert try to go in head first, and he came up about maybe a foot short of the bag.
But it happened to Byron over here at third too, where he kind of got stuck sliding into third on that triple.
So Evan Jubert is a chess piece off the board now here for Texas Southern, as that is the second out of the inning. Here's a pitch coming in to Williams. Couldn't quite frame that one up, and Williams is able to coax the freebie.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the catcher, number 16, Elijah Rodriguez.
So Elijah Rodriguez now will come to the plate here for Texas Southern. Grounded out to short back in the fifth inning. That one hit into left field. Going back is Davis. And that one's up in the jet stream, but it will stay in play as Spanky Davis makes the play out there in left field. So Texas Southern strands one out there at first. We move now to the eighth inning. Texas Southern 6, Alcorn 4. We'll be back here on the TSU Sports Network.
No runs, no hits.
Welcome back as we get ready to start the eighth inning. It will be the Braves' bottom of the lineup, Chase Moore. Then back to the top, Spanky Davis and Jalen Bennett here for the Braves here in the top frame of the eighth. As Sevi Medrano is working his second inning here for Texas Southern. Swing and a miss as Medrano starts him off with strike one. Chase Moore, 1 for 2 today. He did come around and score. For Alcorn, as that one is low and away. Count goes to 1-1 here on Chase Moore. That one gets in for a strike. Nice pitch from Medrano. Update from Jackson, Mississippi, as they've moved to extras. Florida A&M on top of Jackson State 8-7. Final from Grambling. Jaguars take out the Tigers 7-6 as Chase Moore hits one into the Tony Gwynn hole in the 5.5 hole for a base hit. So Alcorn gets all important leadoff batter on. As we go back to the top of the lineup,
The left fielder, number 2.
it's Kanaya Spanky Davis. Will dig in here for the Braves. Coach Carlton Hardy having a little discussion down there with the first base umpire. As Davis will dig in here. Chase Moore with his second hit of the ball game. And they're going to call a balk. I think they got the wires crossed on that one as Morales was charging in from first. And Medrano whirled to throw to first. Can't do that. So Chase Moore will get the freebie as he moves up to second. So RBI opportunity now for Spanky Davis here for Alcorn. So Medrano balks over Chase Moore. Here's the pitch coming in to Davis. That starts things off for a strike. That slider off the outside part of the plate. Count goes to 1-1. You're on Kanaya Davis. They call him Spanky. He's a sophomore from Atlanta. Also one of the better pitchers for Alcorn. We could see him this weekend, as that one is up in the strike zone. Or outside the strike zone, I should say. Count goes to 2-1 here on Davis. That pitch in on the hands, and they will say it caught the inside part of the plate. Count goes to 2-2 here on Kanaya Davis. That pitch off the outside corner. 3-2 pitch coming in. Davis is the leading pitcher also for Alcorn. 3-1 on the season, as that one is up and in, and Davis is able to get the walk, and Coach Gallego will make the long, slow walk out to the mound, as we could see the end of Sebi Medrano's day. So Alcorn now with runners on first and second, as Medrano gave up a CNI single in the left field, and now Davis has walked to first. It's Coach Gallego is out there talking to his hurler, so Medrano will stay in there. The wind is really blowing hard out in the left field. Flagpole's just beyond the 345 sign out there in left center field. So now Jalen Bennett will dig in here for the Braves.
The second baseman, number 19, Jalen Bennett.
So Bennett 0 for 3 today, trying to extend his hitting streak as he will square up the bunt here. And he lays down a butte. Jubert will come in and field it and make the play at first. But Jalen Bennett does the job in moving the runners over.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the center fielder, number 3, Rayfield Adams.
So Rayfield Adams now will dig in. Here for the Braves. Ducks on the pond here for Adams as he takes a look at strike one. That one gets in for a strike. So Medrano doing a good job of getting out in front of Rayfield Adams. 0-2 pitch coming in. That one smacked in the right field. It'll get down. In comes Moore, and they'll hold up Davis at third. As Chavez did a great job hitting the cutoff to keep the tying run standing over there at third. So this Alcorn State Brave offense, scrappy. As they plated a run now in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and now the 8th. And Coach Gallego looks as though he'll make the call to the bullpen. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the new Texas Southern pitcher. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. And welcome back here to live action. 6-5 is your new score as Alcorn has played a run here in the 8th inning, top of the 8th. Cooper Harris will dig in. New pitcher in is DeMarcus Thompson for Texas Southern. This will be Thompson's 11th appearance for Texas Southern. 0-2 on the season. 9 strikeouts versus 7 walks. Runners moving, and Thompson hits the batter, and Cooper Harris gets the freebie from Thompson. So this Brave offense, this Brave team, fighting,
Coming up to bat for the
scrappy.
Braves, right fielder, number 11, Keaton Hawk.
This Alcorn team that came into this series 1-11 in conference play, hanging right with Texas Southern. 6-5, bases loaded. Here's the pitch. That one's off the outside corner for a ball. Spanky Davis stands at third. Rayful Adams out there at second. Cooper Harris at first. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch that time from Thompson. So DeMarcus Thompson, he features a fastball, slider, and changeup for Texas Southern. Young man from Katy, Texas. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. 6'1", 190-pounder is DeMarcus Thompson. Saw action last weekend against Alabama A&M. Back on last Saturday. Where he pitched an inning in that one. Gave up no runs. Coach Carton Hardy with a little bit of advice here for Hawk. Got a little chat with his batter on a 1-2 count here. Here's the pitch. Hit back up the middle off Thompson's glove. In comes Davis as well as Rayful Adams, and the Braves have taken the lead. Solid single for Keaton Hawk, right back up the middle.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the shortstop, number 9, Asher Friedman. Should have played 7.
So 7-6 is your new score. Alcorn on top now. And Thompson can't find the strike zone as he hits his second batter here in the inning. As Asher Friedman gets plunked by Thompson, and the bases are loaded here for Alcorn.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the catcher, number 20, Nico Garcia.
So Nico Garcia now will dig in. Final from Jackson, Mississippi, Florida A&M. They get the win in extras over Jackson State, 8-7. So Nico Garcia, 1 out, bases loaded full of Braves. That fastball a little too far inside for ball 1. Braves have played it 3 in the inning. Here's the pitch. Another fastball, a little too far inside, 2-0 pitch coming in. And Thompson can't find the strike zone. He plunks another one. So Evan Jubert going to go out there and talk to his pitch a little bit as Thompson has hit 3 in this inning.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the designated hitter, number 27, Michael Bonelli.
So Michael Bonelli will come to the plate here for Alcorn. 8-6 is your score. Bonelli came in, pitch hit for Clay Wright. Huge opportunity here. And Thompson, he gets that one in for a strike. Huge pitch for DeMarcus Thompson. Maybe that'll get him going. That one foul back. So now Thompson ahead of Benelli. Still only one out here in the inning. Swing and a miss, and that was a huge strikeout for DeMarcus Thompson. So now 2 outs in the inning. Young man showing some resilience for Texas Southern.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, third baseman number 15, Chase Moore.
As Chase Moore now digs in. And that one is foul back. Here's a pitch coming in. That one catches the strike zone. So now Thompson feeling it a bit. 0-2 coming into Moore. Here's the pitch. Just off the outside corner. Count runs to 1-2 now here on Chase Moore. Thompson trying to get Texas Southern out of this without any further damage. And that one's off the outside corner. Count runs even. Deuces wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in this inning. Swing and a miss, and DeMarcus Thompson gets Texas Southern out of this inning without any further damage. But the Braves, they put 4 across. They now have the lead.
4 runs.
We move to the bottom of 8th. Alcorn 8, Texas Southern 6. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network.
The new score is 8-6, Alcorn State. On deck for the Tigers, Lopez, Pace, Chavez.
Welcome back in here to Bobcat Park. Here's Cy-Fair ISD.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers.
Alcorn on top now, 8-6.
Number 44, Nate Lopez.
As it will be Nate Lopez, then back to the top of the lineup, Zach Pace and Christopher Chavez. New pitcher in the game is Jacob Wingard here for the Alcorn State Braves. Wingard starts things off with a strike.
On the mound now for the Braves, number 21, Jacob Wingard.
So Wingard, he's a Houston kid. He's from League City, Texas. Prepped at Clear Springs High School. Getting an opportunity to come back, pitch in front of the home folks. And that pitch is a little inside. Count evens at 1-1. Wingard last saw action against Mississippi Valley, pitched 5 innings in that one, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned, struck out 4. And that one, fastball gets in under the bat of Nate Lopez. 1-2 pitch coming in. That one off the outside part of the plate. Count evens at 2-2. Bottom of the 8th. Alcorn on top 8-6. Braves trying to turn some heads in the conference today. That one, Lopez out in front of that one as he pulled that one foul. Yeah, nice pitch that time from Wingard, and Lopez goes down swinging. So now we go back to the top of the lineup, and
Coming up to bat for
look.
the Tigers, the left fielder, number 20, Zachary Pace.
So it looks as though we have a new hitter coming in here for Texas Southern. Is coming in to bat is number 22, Anthony Ruiz.
Hitter, number 22, Anthony Ruiz.
So Ruiz. Pitch hits for Zach Pace here. Anthony Ruiz, he's a 6'2 redshirt junior from Miami. He'll take a look at strike 1. Ruiz saw action last weekend against Alabama A&M. Went 0 for 5 on April 3rd. 1 for 4 the following day against Alabama A&M pitching. Ruiz comes in batting .289 on the season. Swing and a miss, and good pitch that time as Ruiz goes down swinging. So Jacob Wingard coming in dealing as he struck out the first 2 Texas Southern batters.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the right fielder, number 15, Christopher Chavez.
So Christopher Chavez now will dig in here for the Tigers.
So when they do that, do I code it as swinging or
Swinging?
2-3? Swinging?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to do strikeout, but the official putout is 2-3. But the pitcher still gets credit for a strikeout.
So Chavez 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI for Texas Southern. Chopper out to Bennett, and Bennett will make the play. So 3 up, 3 down for Texas Southern in the bottom of the 8th inning. We move to the 9th. Braves on top of TSU 8-6. We'll be back here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. So welcome back as we get ready to start the ninth inning.
Now for the Braves, the left fielder, number 2, Spanky Davis.
As Kanaya Spanky Davis will dig in here for the Braves. And DeMarcus Thompson starts him off with ball one.
Changes for the Tigers.
So a couple of defensive
Coming into play
changes
right
out there.
field,
You
number
got
22,
Christopher Chavez moving over to left field now. And Anthony Ruiz takes over in right field here for Texas Southern.
Moving from right field to left field, number 15, Christopher Chavez.
So Davis fouls that one off. Count runs to 1-2. Now here on Kanaya Spanky Davis. Wind really swirling out there in left center. You can tell it's really picked up because players' jerseys are flapping in the breeze. Two coming in on Davis. Chopper. Lopez. Slick field and play to Morales. 4-3 on the putout. So nice play out there by Nate Lopez. It's
Coming up to bat for the Braves.
a little weird hop over there, but he does make a great play on it. The first out of the inning. So now Jalen Bennett comes up. That one is way off the outside part of the plate. So twilight here at the ballpark. Lights starting to come on. As that pitch gets in for a strike.
Played a night game in a few years.
Count goes to 1-1 here on Jalen Bennett. But that one skips to the backstop. So Thompson. He was having some trouble in the previous inning, but he fought back and was able to get Texas Southern out of a sticky wicket as that one is off the outside corner, ball 3. So 3-1 coming into Jalen Bennett. And that one hits Bennett right in the ribs that time.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the center fielder, number 3, Rayfield Adams.
So now Rayfield Adams will dig in here for Alcorn. Adams 1 for 5 today, scored a run. That one low and inside for ball 1. So Thompson again trying to find the strike zone. That one looks a little low. Count runs to 2-0 here on Rayfield Adams the third. Jalen Bennett stands on first here for the Braves. And that one's off the outside part of the plate. 3-0 now on Adams.
Nah, it's really how he throw it, though.
That one gets across for a strike.
It's almost like he's
So 3-1 coming in on Adams. Bennett, not much of a base stealing threat, 6 of 9 on the season. And that one skips to the backstop, so Adams is able to coax the ball from DeMarcus Thompson.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the first baseman, 25, Cooper Harris.
So Cooper Harris now will dig in here for the Braves.
Remember, got 2 games to play.
Harris 1 for 2. He scored a couple of runs today for Alcorn. Thompson scuffling a little bit out there trying to find the strike zone. That one low and away, ball 2. You're on Cooper Harris, and Elijah Rodriguez, he's going to go out there and go talk to his pitcher, as well as Nate Lopez, kind of get him settled in over there. Alcorn with runs in 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. Had the big inning in the 8th, 4 runs in the 8th, 8 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors. Texas Southern, big 3rd inning, 5 runs. Jonathan Treyjo home run in the 6th, 6 runs on multiple hits and 2 errors here for Texas Southern.
Kind of like defensive visits or something.
Yeah. I don't know how they get it. I mean, in high school they get 1 defensive meeting without a coach. Helps the game move faster.
So now it looks as though you're going to get a pitch runner coming out there for Alcorn. And that pitch runner for Alcorn is Julian Jarrett.
Pinch runner at second base, number 8, Julian Jarrett.
Jarrett is a redshirt sophomore from Brownsville, Tennessee, 5'9", 170-pounder. So the Braves with a little more speed out there, trying to pick up some insurance runs. That pitch off the outside corner. Count runs to 3-1 here on Cooper Harris. That pitch catches the corner. Now count runs full here on Harris. Here's the pitch. Down to Jubert. Jubert with the throw, and it will sail over the head of Miguel Morales. In comes 1, in comes 2, and Cooper Harris will go all the way to 3rd on the throwing error from Jubert. So Jubert seemed as though he was a little distracted by the runner. Made the throw across, but it was sailed over the head of Miguel Morales.
For the Braves, right fielder, number 11, Keaton Hawk.
So 2 runs come in for Alcorn. 10-6 is your score.
I clicked that home on accident.
Alcorn now has increased their lead to 10-6. That pitch is off the outside part of the plate. Count runs to 3-2.
But then you hit reset home, and then you enter the number. Is it asking for a number?
Target just go all the way back over. That's why you do that.
That's fine.
It's
Game's
just,
almost over.
it's just got the wrong score.
I'll announce the score anyways in between innings.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
Here's the pitch coming in. And that time Keaton Hawk offered out there for the bunt, but was not able to put his bat on the ball. So count runs full now to Keaton Hawk. Cooper Harris stands out there at 3rd. Alcorn has played it 2 more here in the top of the 9th. Swing and a miss. And DeMarcus Thompson with a big strikeout for the 2nd out of the inning. Texas Southern trying to prevent any more insurance runs here from the Braves.
Coming up to bat for the Braves, the shortstop, number 9, Asher Friedman.
So Asher Friedman digs in here for Alcorn. Here's the pitch. That one gets in for a strike. Chopper, that one will go foul. So the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils, they turned heads on yesterday with the win over Bethune-Cookman. Alcorn trying to do the same here today in the first of 2 here against Texas Southern. Thompson trying to get out of the inning. Here's a pitch. That one swung on, hit to left field. Charging is Chavez, and Chavez will make the play over in left field. But the Braves, they played 2. We move to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance to dance for Texas Southern. We'll be back here on the TSU Sports Network. And welcome back here to the bottom of the 9th. Alcorn up 10-6 in this one.
Number 5.
It will be
Treyjo.
the meat of the order here for Texas Southern. 3, 4, 5 hitters. Treyjo, Robinson, and Jubert. As Wingard starts him off with a nice 12-6. Here's the pitch coming in. Fastball up and in. Tigers need base runners here. Treyjo has gone deep today. Went deep back in the 6th inning. Here's the pitch. That one's a little inside. Count runs to 2-1 here on Jonathan Treyjo. There's a pitch coming in. That one is foul back. Nice healthy cut from Treyjo. Treyjo 1 for 3 today. Big hit was the home run. Also has walked for Texas Southern. And that was a tough, wicked pitch that time as Treyjo goes down swinging.
As a pitcher, you want those kinds of strikeouts. Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the designated hitter, number 35, Byron Robinson.
So Byron Robinson now will dig in here for the Tigers. Wingard starts him off. Ball on the outside corner. Swing and a miss is Wingard. That one had a little extra MPHs on it. One pitch coming into Byron Robinson. That one's fouled off. Wingard, he's really pumping those fastballs in there, doing a great job of keeping TSU at bay. Want to say hello to Mrs. Jacqueline Armstead. Thank you for checking in. Need a little of that Armstead magic here. One out here in the bottom of the ninth. Here's the pitch. Low and inside here to Robinson. Two pitch coming in. And that one gets down. Nice little bloop shot into center field, and Texas Southern has a runner on.
Coming up to bat.
So now Evan Jubert now.
Number 9, Evan Jubert.
Will get an opportunity to make something happen here for the Texas Southern offense. Here's a pitch. That one skips in the dirt. That one's chopped foul as Jubert was out in front of that one. So TSU needs to put a little something together here with one out. Need base runners here. Miguel Morales stands at the ready. If Jubert can keep things going here. Here's the pitch. We'll change up off outside corner count. Runs to 2-1 here on Evan Jubert. Swing and a miss. So count runs even here on Evan Jubert. Jubert out in front of that one a little bit. Count stays at 2-2. Here's a pitch coming in from Wingard. And swing and a miss, and Jubert goes down swinging. So now Texas Southern down to their final
Coming up to bat for the
out
Tigers,
here is Miguel
the
Morales.
first
Will
baseman,
dig in
number
here
29,
for the Tigers.
Morales.
Here's the pitch. That one is up and in on Morales. That one hit back up the middle, and it will get down. Robinson will hold still at second, so now runners at first and second. As Miguel Morales with a great base hit back up the middle. And now Sean Williams will dig in here for the Tigers.
Coming up to bat for the Tigers, the center fielder, number 34, Sean Williams.
So runner in scoring position in the form of Byron Robinson here. If TSU does it, they're going to have to do it with 2 outs, and nice pitch that time from Wingard as Williams was out in front of that one.
Little inside. See if you can catch it.
And a nice pitch that time coming in from Wingard as he's taking something off of it. Williams out in front of that one. Sean Williams, 234 hitter. 17 RBIs on the season, trying to keep this one going. Fastball off the outside corner. Count runs to 1-2. Here's the pitch.
Oh, that's too far in.
And that one's a little far in. 2-2 coming in to Sean Williams.
He's going to go back out.
Wind blowing hard out to left field. Deuces wild on the scoreboard. 2-2 pitch coming in. Here it is. Swing and a miss, and Williams goes down. And the Braves have taken game 1 in this 3-game set. As Alcorn knocks off Texas Southern in the first of a doubleheader. So we look at some final stats.
2 hits, no errors, 2 left on for the Tigers. And that is a final for game 1. Alcorn State 10, Texas Southern 6.
Alcorn knocks off Texas Southern 10-6
Alcorn State had 9 hits, 2
on
errors,
9 hits
14 men
on 2
base.
errors.
Texas Southern had 3 hits, 3 errors, left 10 men out. Left 10 men on base.
Texas Southern 6 runs on 5 hits,
And they had 5 hits.
3 errors today.
Game 2 will start in 30
So you
minutes.
take your hat off to the Alcorn State Braves. They get game
Great
1.
opportunity to
Game
go
2
to the restroom and hit
starts
that
in approximately 30 minutes. Stay with us here on the Texas Southern Sports Network. We'll be back with more
session stands
Texas Southern
open
baseball.
throughout the second game. The winning pitcher would be the guy that.
Alcorn.
So the one that lost
Number
is
1.
Chirinia.
14.
Chirinia, right?
Let's see. When did 21 come in? He came in the 8th. I don't know.
No, they had to leave when Wingard came in. Wingard got to save.
Yeah, he got the save. Yeah, Shereen, yeah.
Yeah.
He number 4 on there, but
And the saving pitcher